eat your dairy. So, yes, for those of you who have asked, there is a bear with socks on his ears back there. This is my Joe Meek Pro Channel VC3. At present, this is my preamp, by the way. I can find nothing wrong with it, other than the fact that it doesn't appear to be working quite properly. And it may not even have anything wrong with it. It's entirely possible that I am doing something wrong. I don't know. So let's see, what do we have to talk about today? Once again, I have turned off my thing, my iPad, when I'm supposed to already have this stuff. Hello, Bane. He's so cute. Speaking of so cute, so I'm watching the EverCast show tonight, the EQNext podcast show. It's not the one that I'm supposed to be on, it's a different one. And one of the, I think it was one of the community managers, Omid, was in the audience watching the show. I knew that. I knew he was there. I didn't think he was paying a lot of attention. So we get to the end of the show, and they asked the people who were watching in Twitter. Well, they didn't ask so much as it just kind of came up. They were talking about, the people who were on the show were talking about their personal revelations. So they were talking about their personal revelations, and there were a couple of people in the chat channel who were also talking about their personal revelations. I thought, okay, fine, whatever. So I typed in my personal revelation, which was the fact that I think that Terry Michaels, who is the director of EverQuest and EverQuest Landmarks, really, really cute. So apparently Omid took a screenshot of that and is going to show it to Terry tomorrow at work. Oh, this is going to be... There are certain ways to go about getting a boyfriend. I don't think that is one of the recommended ones, especially when you're not entirely sure. You're hopeful that the person that you're over is gay, but you're not sure, but you hope. You hope. This could get uncomfortable. We'll see. At least that's what I'm afraid of, is that we'll see. After the show, we went over to kind of the Evercast TeamSpeak server, and we were all, there was like 4 of us, who were talking. You go from 71 people watching the show to 4 people occasionally talking about stuff on the show. But one of the things that was mentioned was apparently a movie trailer called Knights of Badassdom, which has Peter Dinklage, who plays Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones, and Summer Glau, who plays River Tam in Firefly and Serenity. Go look up the trailer on YouTube. Knights of Badassdom. Holy crap! If that's not a movie, if that is a fake movie trailer, not only is it a good one, I actually kind of want to see the movie now. I think it's kind of cool. Plus, it's got Peter Dinklage. I mean, who doesn't love Peter Dinklage? And those of you who don't love Peter Dinklage, leave this house. Get out. You are not welcome here. So, there's some kind of schmutz on my... Yes, I said schmutz. So what? Some kind of substance on my preamp now, which means that it's It's on my iPad somewhere. It's probably off the. Nope, I'll find it later. I don't care that much right now. So let's see. More of Gopher's Amnesia playthrough. Jesse kind of mentioned this in Twitter, just a little bit ago. So I'll go ahead and spread the word a bit. He did a Q&A, which he often does, but this time he did a Q&A with his parents. So go over to Jesse Cox on YouTube. Go over to his channel and look up the Q&A with his parents. It's actually really, really funny, especially if you watch Jesse at all and you are even remotely familiar with A, his comedy style, and B, his the various things that he says about his parents and whatnot. It's quite amusing. So yeah, I'm gonna, with regards to the audio stuff, I'm just gonna have to take it all apart. I don't mean like pulling transistors off boards and stuff. I mean, I cracked open the preamp and was looking around inside. I didn't see anything that looked like it was busted or anything. The only thing I saw that looked odd was where the ground wire screws to the chassis, the cover. It's 11:20. I don't understand. Anyway, where the ground wire screws down, where it gets screwed down onto the thing, which is right next to the. It's like right. Actually, it may be this very screw right here. Anyway, it gets screwed onto the case here, and the thing that the ground wire was kind of soldered to, that was screwed down, that was sort of up against the side of the mic plug housing. I don't know if that makes any difference, so I just moved it aside. Yeah, I just kind of, I didn't need to loosen the screw at all. I just kind of pushed it over to the side. I don't think that's going to make any difference, but who knows? Maybe it was touching the side of the thing. Whatever. I'll basically what I need to do is I need to get somebody who knows audio gear really, really well over here to look this stuff over, and not only, here's the thing, not only figure out what's wrong, but teach me, because I'm very much an avid proponent of the phrase, if you give a man a fish, you teach him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Teach me what I'm supposed to be doing, please, so I don't have to constantly call on you to come over and fix my freaking problems, because you're like, dude, it's no problem. I'll be happy to come over now. That works for the first 600 or 700 times. And then you're like, dude, just figure out how to do it on your own. I'm trying, but you wouldn't teach me. It's okay. And more cars driving by. It's like they think that road is for them to drive on. What is with these people in California? I don't understand. So apparently Dodger started playing Hearthstone, and she fell into this pit of timelessness where she was like, just one more game. One more game. Go watch her I think it was Coffee Time over on Dexterity Bonus on YouTube. Now she understands, but she's further along than I am. I've had the thing for about a week or so. Anyway, so I didn't really want to play. I didn't want to play at all, but you know, I figured if I get a beta key, I'll do some beta testing, and I found a bug and I put it in, and so fine, everything's nice and hunky dory and happy. What? I So yeah, not really much more than that. What's going on this week? I don't know what's going on this week. Honestly, I am going to have to look at my calendar. I mean, I know I've got more reading of my story to do because I'm supposed to go and hopefully get some studio time to do the narration for The Infiltrate, which will be awesome. But I really need to read it again and again because I've been reading it, but I've been reading it in here. I haven't been reading it out loud, and I need to read it out loud. I need to get practice reading it out loud. It's much more important. But yeah, that's all I can think of. That might happen this week. It might be 2 or 3 weeks down the road. I'm not sure. So we just passed 4 minutes. So I will let you guys go. Did I say 4 minutes? 11 minutes. There's a little bit of a difference between 11 and 4. What happened was I looked at the clock on the recorder and it said 11 minutes 4 seconds. I saw the 4, and when I was turning back to the camera in my brain, I said, okay, mouth, say 11 minutes, just ignore the 4. And so that's right when the word 11 was supposed to come out of my mouth, and since I thought the word 4, I said the word 4. It's supposed to be 11 minutes, and now it's 11:40. So anyway, I will let you guys go. Shoo. It's a rather boring one, I think. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll let you know what happens with the. Well, you'll know if the audio gear gets configured properly and starts working the way it's supposed to. Believe me, you will know, because the audio on this thing is going to get like 100 times better. But until then, it's going to be the webcam microphone and tweaking it as much as I can in Windows Movie Maker. Right, so I will talk to you folks next time. Until then, be careless.